Switching gears now to the international scene we go, and we got the Nations League from the CONCACAF just around the corner. Who's going to make the final? We're going to take a little look. Coming at you next. That's right, folks, Pam's giving another prediction video. Today, we're taking a look at the Nations League coming at you from CONCACAF. It's the semi-finals, boys and girls. Who's going to be going through to the final? We'll take a little look in just a second. If you're new, where you been? Smash your subscribe button back to all things Nations League related, CONCACAF related, Rovers related. We're going to all hear, boys. Under one Rooski, of course. Yeah, the domestic season is just about done, depending on where you are in the world, unless you're in the MLS, of course. That season's just about to get a little bit spicy with, of course, the arrival of Lionel Messi. That's right, but that's a story for another day. Today, it's all about Team Canada, Panama, USA, and Mexico, which from the four sides will make it through to the final in the Nations League coming at you at the CONCACAF Federation. We'll have a look at all of it in a second, of course. People shout about VRPs. They are the patrons, of course. You know who we are. So anyway, let's get into it, of course. Yes, that's right. Just because the domestic game is over does not mean the football is done and dusted. There's plenty to talk about in regards to the international spectrum. So here we are, of course, just a recap of the Nations League and in the CONCACAF Federation. Who did well and who did shit. And, of course, take a look forward to those illustrious semi-finals. Now, the games, of course, coming at you are on the 15th of June. Get your predictions down in the chat. Of course, and then we'll review the best ones when we predict the final, that's right, which of course will be a few days later after. But recap of the divisions, of course, this is the lower tier of the CONCACAF, I don't know what you call it, tier 3, level 3, I don't know. St. Martin top the pops there, they'll get promoted to Group A, to the next tier up there, of course. Bonaire, Turks Cacao, Cassiar, or whatever they call it. US Virgin Islands got 4 points, bottomed of the pile in Group A. In Group B, St. Kitts and Nevis up there, 10 points for them. They'll be featured in the Gold Cup, of course, preliminaries. I'll be predicting that as well in a quick time. Aruba, St. Martin, also in the mix for the Gold Cup as well. St. Lucia, Anguilla, Dominica, of course, in Group C. Only one team realistically in it, St. Lucia, picking up top marks there. Second be said in Group D with Puerto Rico, 4 for them. Cayman Islands and the British Virgin Islands. What about into the next level? That's, of course, not the top tier, but the middle tier. 4 groups, I believe, in this one. Group A saw Cuba coming out top. Just the one defeat out of 6 games, then 15 points out of a possible 18 there. Barbados in that group. They'll be getting relegated. Of course, Haiti, of course, fantastic in Group B as well. No defeats, 16 points for them. And, of course, that group sees Montserrat take the tumble. They will be going into the 3rd tier of the CONCACAF Federation. Kicking off into Group C, Nicaragua unbeaten as well. 4 wins, 2 draws there. 14 points. A tight group, which will see them promoted to the top tier. Trinidad and Tobago, unfortunately, they dipped out, but they'll be featuring in the, of course, the Gold Cup preliminaries, where they try to make it to the grand stage. And again, each and every one of the Gold Cup preliminaries and, of course, the Gold Cup itself will be covered right here at Blackburn Roasters. Guatemala top bins in Group D. They're promoted. Belize relegated with just 1 point. Excuse me. Now kicking on to the top tier. Of course, the winners of all these top divisions meeting up here in the semi-finals. The Mexicans, top bills there, 8 points for them. Jamaica, unfortunately, they were unbeaten, but unfortunately couldn't top the bills. 3 draws and just 1 win. Suriname will get relegated back down to the 2nd tier. Panama top bills for them over there, 10 points, not too shabby. Just 1 draw out of 4. Of course, keeping Costa Rica at Bay. Martinique will take a tumble. They're featuring, of course, in the preliminaries as well. Panama already there. Canada, of course, top bills in Group C, ahead of Honduras. Change of coach. Of course, Herdman now gone down south to New Zealand to try and transform. Is it either the men's or the women's team? I don't know, but regardless, he's no longer the Canada head coach. Phil Neville, breaking news, I believe is the new head coach. Yes, Phil Neville. So kicking it forward, Curacao getting relegated. And the USA, top Group D, 1 draw. El Salvador, 2nd spot, and Grenada will go down to the 2nd tier there. So that's, of course, a recap of the grand stage. But, of course, we're talking about these semi-finals. Kicking it all off with the first one, Panama up against Canada. Let's take a look at it. Also, all taking place on the 15th of June. That's just right around the corner, so get ready, get predicting, and of course let me know how you think this will pan out. So let's take a look at it taking place Panama up against Canada, played each other 8 times in 2008. 2 wins apiece and 4 draws. Panama come into this just 1 defeat of the past 6 games. 50% form for them at the moment. That's 1-1, lost 1 and drawn 4. Their biggest win over Canada was a 2-0 win. That's stretching back just to 2008. They scored 7 goals against Canadians in those 8 games. 0.88 goals a game on average. Take a look at the Canadians. Their biggest win was a 4-1 win over Panama, and of course they come into this on 50% form as well, however winning 3 and losing 3 over the last 6. They've scored 8 goals against Panama over the course of those 8 games, and of course that equates to 1 goal a game. The last time that these two sides played each other, when Panama were classed as the home team, was a 1-0 win for Panama back in the 30th of March. That was back in 2022. Canada's last victory was when they were hosts. I was in the World Cup qualification phase, and they beat them 4-1. So take from that from what you will. Canada's last match was a big 4-1 win over Honduras. Panama picking up a 1-0 win over Costa Rica as well. Don't forget, they're both in action in the CONCACAF. And actually, just have a quick look at this. CONCACAF when we look at Panama will take on Costa Rica in their first game. Canada taking on, of course, one of the winners of the preliminaries in their opening game. Of course, I have got no odds on this one, but I'm going to have to go with my gut. Of course, Herman was fantastic with Canada, and they were a little bit unlucky. They were everyone's 3rd team at the World Cup out in Qatar. I think they will have enough to get past Panama at this. I'm not too sure. I think the change of manager or the appointment of Phil Neville is not necessarily the most attractive of options that could have been considered for Canada's preparations for the Gold Cup and into the future. So, but for me, I'm going to go with a 2-1 win, I think, for Canada to sneaky peek, squeak through to the final of the Nations League for the CONCACAF Federation. But who will they take on as we have an absolute zinger chicken dinner for the second game? It is USA up against Mexico. And I think, believe it or not, scratch my head, I'm going to have to quick look at the calendar. Scratch my bloody head. I think I might even do a double watch along for this if I can get both games on the TV. So look forward to this one, and I'll come at you with some interactivity, of course. Looking forward to maybe some mystery rovers or mystery footballers for the first game and the second game, because that next one here, the America against Mexico, they are usually quite feisty. But let's take a look at the data there between these two sides. Of course, played each other 28 times since 2002. 13 wins for USA, 7 wins for Mexico, and 8 draws. Of course, the United States, again, I think they're under a new coach. Correct me if I'm wrong, 50% form for them right now. Unbeaten in the last 4, 1-2 lost 2 and drawn 2 over the last 6. Mexico, though, coming to this on 67% form, unbeaten the last 5, pick up 3 wins and a couple of draws as well. The United States' biggest win over Mexico, just a 2-0 win. They've scored 35 goals against the Mexicans, though, since 2002. Works out around 1.25 goals a game. Mexico come into this on the back of their biggest win over USA was a 5-0 win. They've only scored 29 goals. Over the course of the 28 games, works out 1.04 goals a game. Last time they played each other was a draw. That was way back in April 2023. It was a friendly, of course. In fact, last time Mexico beat USA, you had to go all the way back to 2019. It's been a very, very USA heavy. I thought that sounded rhymed. Very, very, very USA heavy, one-sided sort of. Fixture for the past few seasons. So a 3-0 win it was way back in 2019, but prior to that, the USA are 5 unbeaten against Mexico, picking up 3 wins and a couple of draws as well. The USA coming to us on the back of, in fact, their last game, according to my data, was in fact that 1-1 draw against the Mexicans. Prior to that, the last game was a 1-0 win over El Salvador way back 27th of March. Mexico's last match against Guatemala, that's pretty recent actually, the 7th of June, a 2-0 win it was as well. Of course, don't forget Gold Cup coming at you as well. Both sides are already there. They're waiting to see who they'll be playing. In fact, Mexico are going to take on Cameroon today. I am recording this on the Saturday, the 10th of June. But they'll kick off their Gold Cup against Honduras, with the USA taking on the winner of the preliminaries. I've got no odds here, guys. Got no odds. So we're going to have to go for my gut. And my gut says the United States have just got the bit between the teeth at the moment. I don't know. I'd love to see a Mexico win. And in fact, I've got a Mexico shirt I could rock. But I'm going to go with. It's a tough old order, but I'm going to go with a 2-1 win for the USA. They've got their number against Mexico these days. It's going to be a good chance for us to see just how good this America team can be leading up to the Gold Cup. Of course, it's just how good the Canada team can be as well with a new coach. Of course, you're looking at maybe 4 of the potential winners, I'd say, for the Gold Cup right here, right now. So it could be a very, very good summer for Canada, for USA, depending on how things go right here, right now. But that, my friends, is what I've got for you, boys and girls. We are looking forward to the Nations League semi-finals here at the CONCACAF. We will have, of course, the final prediction and the third place one, because we got to give some credit to whoever that is. And of course, don't forget the Gold Cup preliminaries coming at you very, very soon, and then the real deal, of course, from the back end of June into the month of July. So football keeps on going here on the channel, despite a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes of trying to redevelop the studio here. Of course, trying to get some new graphics, new personnel on board. A lot going on for a very, very big and important year for the channel. A sort of make or break year, I think. So please, any support you can, whether it's in the Patreon, of course, or anywhere else, that'll be absolutely fantastic. Until then, guys, subscribe, thumbs up, and hit the little bell for lots more content just around the corner. But until then, we're out.